Great day, everybody. Great day, and welcome to the Money Plan. I am coming on this morning because I really had another revelation that in rereading the book. If you don't have your copy, the Money Plan, let's get ready. And it's talking about the thought process of money. Now, we usually talk about it from a very tangible, very usual perspective. But today I want to talk about it from a perspective of spiritual manifestation because we do dwell in the spirit realm. All of us have a belief. Whatever you believe that spirit is, whatever you believe that spirit is, whatever you believe that spirit is, whatever you believe you are, it's going to have an impact on that, right? So I was rereading the book and I was talking yesterday after preparing for a talk that I'm going to be doing. And I got to the chapter that talks about this. And this is what I wrote when I talked about fear and how the law of spirit or the presence or integration of spirituality into your generation of wealth, right? Your wealth generation, your prosperity activation, your abundance acknowledgement, because they're three different things, right? And the results end up being tangible assets, money, opportunities, resources, connections, all of that. So I will say it this way: welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about this fear. It says fear is a useless motion. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Or fear can be fear can be something that stifles you in doing all that you can to improve your life. But most importantly, it's often lying to you. Fear is what's going to bring you a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you fear not having enough money, then you will always not have enough money. If you fear that somebody's going to rob you, then chances are you increase your chance of being robbed. But remember, we're not buying into fear, right? We're going to take this fear and turning into faith evidence, awaiting revelation, right? So this is what we're going to be doing. And it came to me when I was preparing for this, that when we start focusing on what we don't want, same thing, same message we hear every place else. When you focus on what you don't want, that's when you get what you don't want. Because the mind is so suggestive. It's not your brain. Your mind is such a suggestive thing. Whatever the strongest and most powerful impulse that you have, that's what your mind is going to do. Your mind is going to create and bring about it in your body. It's going to bring about it in your environment. It's going to bring about it in your conversations. So if the law of spirit is saying that if you allow fear to bring you more pain and struggle to your life because it prevents you from taking actions that benefit you and fulfill the vision that you are destined and created and assigned to complete. And let me say something to you. Fear in your mind is more damaging than somebody, you know, why? Because that memory is created, it's implanted, it becomes part of your DNA, your emotional DNA. And if it becomes part of your emotional DNA, every time something is similar to what you were afraid of, it's going to come up and it's going to put on a defense mechanism and it's going to push it away. So if you say you're afraid of money, if you say you're afraid of debt, if you're afraid of being wealthy because you don't think you're going to be able to handle it, you can't trust yourself, just know that whatever you are focusing on is what is going to come into being. That's why I always say you have to become what you say you want. If you want to become a better person financially and have financial assurances, you got to start now with that $10. When you get an extra $10, how are you going to utilize that extra $10? We're doing this thing for the whole year about saving $6 every day. $6 every day. Some people have been doing this. People fell off. People came back. And I keep coming back to remind y'all, because if you do that, I'm going to tell you right now, you'll have over $4,000 at the end of the year. Absolutely. So all these negative suggestions. So when you open up your mind to the reality that spirit is also on your side, that's your breath, that's your pneuma. You can call it spirit, Holy Ghost, consciousness, whatever term you want to put there. God, creator, life source, whatever term you need to put there, you put there. I call it spirit. And it says, when you open your mind to the word and the purpose of the spirit, and you work in spirit, as spirit, creating the prosperity and the opportunities you desire in your life, it becomes much easy. You see, spirit is the original creative force. Spirit exists to manifest on the physical plane. When you are operating fearlessly and boldly in this spiritual experience and knowing you do not need to work to create your results you want, you just need to flow because that's how spirit does. It will allow you to remove the barriers because you're not focused on the physicality or what you see in front of you, but it will begin to rush you toward the fortune, toward the change, toward the opportunity that you desire. Worry, stress, and doubt are not essential for you to have your prosperity, your wealth, and your abundance. It's not a requirement. But what is a requirement is for you, you're fighting with this purpose and with this power of spirit, and you're understanding that what you're going to manifest is exactly what you prescribed. It is exactly what is for you. It is not that you're stealing it. It is not that it separates you from that which you are. In my other book, right, Inner Healer, I talk about how we are becoming and accepting our I amness, our God self on this planet. Listen, you are part of this divine being, creator, God, source, Yahweh, Allah, whichever term you need, get it in your mind. You are a part of that. You are an extension of that placed here in this physical plane. You don't lose your abilities. You don't lose your power. You don't use your wisdom. You don't lose your strength. You just have to remember it and activate it. And that's what we're talking about here. You need to become a conduit for the energy force, for the vibration, and have the vibrational frequency to allow you to get what is yours. So when I talk about money and spirit, this is what I'm saying to you. You have to begin to see that if you are trying to separate your money from your spiritual identity, then that's why you're in conflict. And it's not about, here, let me give you $10 and I'm gonna pray on this, or I'm gonna meditate on this, or here, let me put this on this, and that, just leave it there. No, you have to be willing to engage yourself in your I amness, in your spirit life, in your spiritness, in your spirit identity, and be that, and elevating yourself to that vibration so that you can get closer to where you want to go. You got to name, you got to say it. Hey, I got my $1 million waiting for me. Or I just need 20,000 of my $1 million right now to clear this debt. I need 20,000 right now to do. See, people don't want to hear that. I know some people are going to reject this because they think it's against their religion. That's the problem. You're doing the rituals, but you don't have no belief in faith, and you haven't embodied the belief. You got to embody it. You got to become it. You got to become it and embrace more of who you are. So spirit and money, because money is a currency, it's energy. It's an agreement. Your I amness is partaking in your divine nature, which is a natural and honest way to be. Thank you so much for being here. Yes? All right. So when you declare, then it's time for you to start manifesting. And you can't have doubt and manifestation at the same time. You may not understand how it's going to happen. That's usual. But what you don't want to do is self-sabotage and go back into that fear-based, self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of people wonder why they don't get what they desire. It's because at some point when it starts happening, you start, oh my gosh, is this really true? I'm doing too much. Oh. but everything is in the infinite mind of the divine God, creator of all that ever was, is, and shall be. The spirit, the thought, right? Spirit comes into thought, thought comes into the reality. I think that applies to everybody, right? And you as a vessel and a holder of this force, of this life force, you are able to bring forth what you desire. So if you are afraid to have money because you think it's going to separate you from your money, it's incorrect. Because your money is vibrating based upon how much you believe in your I amness, how much you believe in your connection and oneness with the divine. Because spirit is the unseen element that lies beneath everything on this physical plane. If this seems too complicated, just go back and watch the video later. I'm trying to speak in brevity, not in quantity. Right? Because this isn't an easy topic to experience. But everything is spirit. Everything is energy. Everything is vibrating. We know this. We know that the elements are all present. Because when you get to the root, you get the fruit. So if the root of you is rooted in your knowing, rooted in your knowing of your spiritual I amness, your oneness with your source, like God, creator, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, Buddha, Krishna, if that is your alignment, then why are you hesitant to accept the abundance, the prosperity, and the wealth? We all like the riches because the riches are quick. They come by and we can talk about our families. We can talk about our friends. We can talk about the loves that is in our lives. You have the ability to create. You have the ability to become a shapeshifter when it comes to you creating your money. Become the vessel that allows you to live your life the way that it should be. But if you don't believe you can handle $50,000 a year salary or $100,000 a year business, if you don't want your harvest, then it's not going to come. If you're afraid, because what this is, look, your comfort is an expression of your acceptance of that oneness. I'm just saying, this is something that I was thinking about as I was preparing, because I said, I think people are trying to disconnect themselves from the very thing that is their energy source. And that energy source is also their identity. And when it's your identity, you can begin to express and apply what is you. But if you don't believe it, if you believe that there's something that's hindering you, you're not going to take the risk to bring you your harvest. You're not going to take the risk. You're going to always look for schemes. You're going to always look for a way to excuse it away. You don't want to take a time out to say, this is what I need to get done today. This is how I want to express myself today. This is the love that I want to experience today. This is the wealth that I want to experience today. But instead, we are binding ourselves to limitation and lack. We are binding ourselves to limitation and lack, but yet believing that we are going to be blessed. We're going to be abundantly and exceedingly and all these other things we say. How? I tell you, look to nature. Look to nature. That's the same energy. That's the same concept that applies to you, your money, your abundance, your wealth, and your prosperity. Short and brief. Take on the acknowledgement of who you be in your spiritual identity. Whatever that is, take it on. It should be benefiting you in such a way that you are able to express it on every level of your life, especially in your financial assurance area. Yeah. Can we experience that? Can we harvest ourselves into a newness that is filled with promise, that is filled with perspective and truth? Because that's how we elevate the money. That's part of your money plan. And it's in the book. It says you have to understand yourself as a person. You have to get rid of the traumas. You have to look at the root cause for some of the decisions that you make or indecisions that you make around your finances. It says you have to consider the influences of your parents, of your community, of your ethnic group, of your religious community, of your social community. If you are a millionaire, you're not going to keep hanging around people who are always asking you for $100 or $1,000 to invest in something. You won't be a millionaire very long. But if you're going to invest in people that are already working to do some things, to get some things acquired, and you can see that they are validly investing and doing the research and putting things in place, then yes, invest. But you are the constant in anything you do in your life. It's not because of something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's because you are allowing that to be primary in your mind versus what your vision is. Let it be motivation. Let it be the inspiration. Let it be the cause that generates this extra burst of energy to get you where you want to be. Right? Any questions or thoughts that you would like to share? Take on your I amness. Take on your oneness with spirit. When you do that, the vision will become more clearer. And then you know you can move differently. You don't have to walk in fear. You can be like, okay, this is what I believe I'm worthy of because it belongs to me. Because when you get your portion, it is not delineating your portion that belongs to somebody, a portion that belongs to somebody else. It is your portion. It is yours. It is not for you to be in pain and suffrage. That is fear. That's the paralyzation of fear. The lack of knowing. You're welcome. Harness more and more of who you be. And that requires you to know who you are. And once you reacquire that, that's when it will happen. And that's what I talk about all the time, getting to the core of who you really are. And it is not what everybody else has said you are. It is not the rumor that everybody wants you to believe. It is not that. You are more than that. You are not your circumstances. Type that. I am not my circumstances, conditions, or experience. I am not. I'm greater than that. Just say it. I'm greater than my circumstances. Because if you keep looking at the physical, you're going to forget about the other 8 layers or planes that you can exist in. And one of those, and the highest plane is recognizing that you have the I amness, which means you control the lower planes. You get to decide. Until next time, y'all, thank you. I am Dr. Marian Sister Afua. This is the Money Plan Chat, talking about money and spirit, understanding that when you take on your spiritual identity and you believe in it and you trust it, you will begin to start this process of manifestation of those things that are already allotted for you. It is not a competition. You are not stealing. It is not a violation of your greatness as a divine presence. It is an expression and an affirmation of it. Just look to the rest of the world. Everything in nature is in abundance. I'm just saying. Until next time, peace and blessings. We are.